Be an awesome night.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We just went live.
Very good.
Hello, everybody in Playing in Traffic chat room. For some reason, we can't go live on Facebook. So if anybody is on Facebook, have everybody go to the Crowdcast link that got you here, so everybody can just come here and play. So we are waiting on Lou, and we have our special guest in the chat room. We'll get him in a second.
Sounds good. I spoke to Hot Rod just a little while ago. We both had trouble on Facebook, so we think it's a problem with Facebook. I haven't been able to post anything all day, updates for the show or anything like that. So it's probably just a problem with Facebook. So not to worry. We're good on our end.
Yep. Okay, good. Jim is taking care of Facebook for us. He's letting people know where we're at. And
John Day just said Facebook is screwed up. So
yep. But you also can go to YouTube. Our YouTube channel is live there as well. So let's see. I don't see Lou jump in. We'll get Hot Rod in right now. All right, I sent him the link.
Excellent.
How's your dad doing, Tori?
He's coming out of the hospital tomorrow, it looks like. They got 2 of the 3 stones. The last one they're going to have to blow up and take it out in pieces, but that's a couple of months. But thank God.
Hey, look who's here.
Look who's here. Hot Rod, what's going on?
What's happening?
Not much. How are you guys?
Great,
it's
great.
So good to see you.
Good.
Glad you can make it, man. You got some nice stuff hanging up in the background.
Thank you. Oh, just ignore that. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
Yeah.
No, just royalty in the house. That's all we have to see here. So
no. Don't go there, man.
It's an honor to have you. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
Absolute pleasure.
Lou's always late, so he should be here in a few minutes.
That's right. He's probably combing his hair.
Yeah. One hair. So what's going on? Where you out of?
I'm in SoCal right now, where it's nice and cool. I think it's about 70 degrees right now. It's like jacket weather for us.
Oh man, we're over here. Let me see. We're at 53 today, so it ain't too bad.
That's thermals for us.
I apologize. We should have planned this out a little bit better. We should have had the meeting at Hot Rod's house. This way we can enjoy the warm weather and see all the artwork. And, we spoke on the phone the other day. I saw some stuff in the background, which really got my curiosity. So all I can say is everyone's in for a huge, treat tonight because
thank you.
From your artwork to, your collection of nostalgic items, it's just going to make everyone's mind go pop.
For sure, for sure. Yeah. So if anybody has any questions, if you hit down at the bottom where it says ask question, you can put it in there and we'll do the night, go through them and, get them done.
Absolutely. Yeah. Ask away, man. Now's the time.
I'm going to wait till Lou gets here because I don't want to start without him. But besides,
call him right now.
Awesome. Because the reason why everyone is here, it's for you and Lou. So,
hey.
And Lou,
where
am I? Will be, is that tonight? Is that tonight?
That's tonight, yeah. Well, Louis, we're just a supporting staff. I mean, everyone's here to see. I mean, we're a nice bunch of guys. Nice to have a beer together. But I mean, the main attraction, is,
I see how you are. Okay.
No, but you're the man that makes it all happen, Louis. So, everyone's got their part,
Yep. Okay, I just text Lou to see where he'd probably be sleeping.
Sleeping or he's stuck in traffic. Let's go with that.
Oh, wait, I found him. He's in. Hold on.
Awesome.
He's coming. I think he's coming. I got him.
He should be.
I didn't talk to him yet today, so you want me to call him and bother him, or?
No, he's on. He's logging in now.
Awesome. Very good.
I hope that's the right Lou. It might be a different Lou.
It may be a different Lou.
I hope so. Nah, Lou's the one and only, so those are tough shoes to fill. So
that's true. That's true.
Shit, what the hell? There I am.
There he is.
Hey, we know this guy.
I was sitting there listening to you guys.
Hey, Lou.
I heard him. I heard Lewis. I just texted him. He must be asleep or something.
I said you were stuck in traffic.
Yeah, well, in my yard. What up, Vaughn? How you doing, man?
Doing great. How you been?
Man, I'm still above ground. You know how it is, doing what
That's
I do.
good. That's good. I think we passed each other in the airport. It's the last time we've seen each other.
Yes, it was. I remember we stopped briefly. Yeah, it was quick. It was crazy. But yeah, I remember that.
Yes.
Click this. For whatever reason, I can't use my headphones on this one, so I'm putting them back while we get our act together here. Okay, so what do you got going on now, man?
Oh, not much. Travel. I just got back from the Bahamas. I got back on Sunday night, and we did a car show on a cruise ship.
Whoa. Wait
yeah,
a minute.
that's a blast.
How's that freaking work?
It's a virtual car show. You bring pictures of your cars, and the more pictures, the better the judges can see, so they can judge your car and get the award. But it's 7 days, all inclusive, and we had a blast. It was a lot of fun. Went to St. Thomas, Puerto Rico, some of the Virgin Islands out there. It was a lot of fun. The main thing is, you know me, I do things for charity. So this was a way to raise money for vet dogs. That when it costs about $6,000 per dog, and once you raise the money, it goes through training. Then it's assigned to a veteran, and that's what we raise the money for. So we raised enough money to do 2 dogs.
That's awesome.
So that's pretty awesome. Yeah. Awesome, so we did a little over 12,000. So that was nice.
Yeah.
You know what? I like to get that information because we'd probably like to do some stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for
sure.
I'm working on one for 2021. We're going to do another one. I'm not sure where we're going. I got a couple of destinations in mind and just haven't announced it yet. But next year we're doing an all-inclusive. We do a land version of a cruise ship, meaning everything's inclusive. And we do 2 to 3 shops and museums a day in Southern California.
Cool.
There's enough shops there, right?
Yeah,
that's cool, man. That's really cool.
It is. It's a lot of fun. So we got a couple buses. We pick you up at the airport, and I've got you for 10 days, and you don't have to worry about anything. And it's all taken care of, your hotels, your food, everything, and all the museums and shops and private tours. I can't let the secret out of the bag, but we have breakfast and lunch with different celebrities and movie and TV stars in the auto industry.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
What dates do you have on that?
That one is end of April for 2020.
End of April for 2020?
End of April. And next year's charity will be Teen Challenge out of Riverside, California.
Okay.
Dude,
so
that's
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a rehab center for kids.
Yeah.
We'd love to get involved in that any kind of way,
Sure, absolutely. I would definitely keep you guys posted and hold you to that. That's awesome.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah, what we'll do after the show and stuff, I'll give you a call and I'll write everything down and I'll get a formal list. This way we keep track of everything. It's just too much to do tonight, being live, but I'll make sure I follow up.
Sure.
And
thank
we'll
you.
Get the information out there. No, thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
very generous.
If you need me to come out there and we'll have breakfast or something, I don't mind doing that.
Excellent. I'm going to hold you to that. I'm definitely going to hold you to that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm big on that on that whole
charity.
thing. Yeah.
Perfect. Because this year's event for Teen Challenge is in a couple of weeks. It's March 31, and we do a Concours show. It's a high-end show. It's right at a 400 car limit, and the celebrities coming this year. It's myself, Barry McGuire, Ralph Hogan from RMD Garage. Mike Brewer and Ant are coming down from Wheeler Dealer. Let's see, we have a possible Aaron Hagar's coming out, and I don't remember the list of who else is coming, who's confirmed, but we got Stacey Davis supposed to drop by, so it's going to be a lot of fun. We do a panel of celebrities on stage. Then we do an autograph session. And my goal is to raise $1 million in one day, and we're at about 300,000.
Nice.
Dude, that's awesome.
God bless.
That's awesome, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, I've done a bunch of charity stuff. I mean, all I ask is that you get me there. Other than that, we're good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We'll talk. Yeah, definitely. All right, I like it.
Yeah, because I mean, like I've done a bunch. If it's charity, I don't charge. All I ask is that you get me there and over the room.
And give him a cheeseburger.
And I'm there. And we'll figure out the rest. There's nothing. I mean, it's just that simple to me. But that's what I do.
You're good. You're good with a teepee, right?
Believe me, that's fucking works. Come on. I've slept in way worse. I promise you that.
Oh, me too. I know what you mean, Lou.
I
know what you mean.
I slept in a swamp one time, and the only thing was out of the water was my face, like that. In the water.
Not good. That would never happen.
Yeah, nasty. So yeah, TP, fucking money. Money.
Awesome.
That's high living right there.
That's the Hotel Ritz right there, buddy. You have no idea.
That's the Ritz.
That's awesome. But no, that's cool that you're doing that stuff. That's way cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you need it, if anybody needs information, Nicole McGuire's the organizer of the event, Barry McGuire's daughter, and you can read her at rodshows with an S.com. You can go to the website, or you can always Google Benedict Castle Concourse, and you can find out information. Facebook, Instagram, it's all there. But rodshows.com is the website.
All right. And you said it's Nicole?
Yeah, Nicole McGuire.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a show organizer and the show founder.
Yeah. That's cool, man. Yeah, I love doing that stuff because, you know, I'm a vet, you know. The charity thing is just one of those things. And it just it pays back in ways that people don't even imagine. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
So it
absolutely
makes
and
it good.
And I'm one for kids and vets. That's my biggest thing. And keeping the money here in the States. That's my biggest thing. It's great and fun sending money overseas, but I want to see evidence that my money's being used for good use here in the States. We got enough needs here that I don't want to see it paying staff or paying a plane ride or anything like that, which is all good and fine. But I want to see my money here. Evidence of it is here on campus when we do this show. You can see the results. We have over 300 kids that volunteer. I call them kids. They're from 18 to 30. And I dress them in red shirts so you can see them and hear their story and talk to them. And they park the cars. They handle everything you can possibly imagine. So it's a blast.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. I'm on board with that. Yeah, if
Nice.
I'm not shooting her at another show, give me a holler, man. We'll figure it. I'll get out there somewhere. Yeah, we'll figure it out. That's just
sweet.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll find a sponsor to get it. You know.
Yeah, that's just for me. It's just worth it. It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, then there's my shameless plug.
There you go.
Okay.
Nice.
There's the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, there's my shameless plug. Moving on.
Hey, you know what? Just keep us posted, and we'll keep cross promoting. If there's an event coming up, you have my information now. Just let me know.
Absolutely.
And I'll put it on the Playing Traffic page. I'll put it on Lou's page.
Yeah,
perfect.
I'll put it on my social media. I'll tag you. We'll get the message out there because
thank you.
You have a big heart. Your generosity. I mean, the mission, the message. I mean, how can you not love it? So people need to know all that. So
and you know, it's sad that we live in a click and go society now, and kids are always, you know, on some kind of substance. It doesn't matter if it's, you know, substance, alcohol, or pornography. It doesn't matter. They're addicted to something. And because of this event, we've had 12 hot rodders and their family absolutely put their kids in the program, and they've graduated from the program. It's a year program. It costs $15,000 a kid to house them there. It's free of charge. It's all done by donations. So 12 hot rodder families have sent their kids through, and they've graduated and have a great success rate of it, all because of this car show. And that to me is well worth it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. But, you know, my philosophy, I have a 2-year degree in social work, and I was working with troubled kids before I stumbled into TV. And my philosophy always was, if you can reach 1 in 10, you're doing good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because it's so hard. It's just so hard. Yeah. So if you could do, and actually my oldest son who just came in, he just got a teaching job, and he's working with special needs kids.
Nice.
That's he's teaching that. He's teaching that. So yeah,
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
Pretty cool. That's neat though.
Good.
That's really neat. Yeah. So other than doing the charity thing, what have you striped anything cool? Have you painted anything cool lately?
Well, it's, you know, as I said before, you know, I travel a lot, so I'm amazed at what people bring me to shows. You know, it's their one chance in a lifetime to, you know, either meet me or have something striped by myself. Not saying that I'm the greatest, but you know, they bring something up, and just you get your typical cell phones, laptop computers, or your air conditioner glove box door. But I was at an event in Tennessee, and I saw this big old square thing, because I don't get to see much. Whatever's in front of me is all I get to see. And here's this square thing walking down the aisle, and I thought, what in the world is this? And believe it or not, the guy brought a car to the car show, took the hood off his car, and brought it into me to stripe it. And I joked around with him, saying, well, what are you going to do? Take this back and bring the trunk? He goes, yep. And then he's like, pull the hood and come back with the trunk. So I think that's pretty cool. That's a diehard, you know. So that's what I'm amazed about. Scottsdale, Arizona, at a Good Guy show, a guy walks up and asks me if what's the weirdest thing I'd striped, and I said at that time it was a bedpan or a gun, because those are kind of odd. And he goes, well, would you stripe a glass eye? I said, absolutely, sure, as long as it's not in your head. So he popped the glass eye out, laid it on the table, and I pinstriped the glass eye.
That's awesome. What do you put on it?
Wow.
What do you put on it?
Yeah, so that's what's strange is I like what people bring me. You know, right now KitchenAid seem to be the trend. Is ladies, I was in at SEMA, and a lady from Montana brought her KitchenAid mixer. Now that's no light thing to carry. Brought it all through SEMA, to put it on the plane, drug it all through SEMA, and had me stripe it at the SEMA show, and then took it home.
It's funny you said that, because I'm getting ready to paint my wife's. I just told her the other day, and I'm gonna paint it.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Yeah, a little bit of metal flake goes a long way.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. So did you just stripe it? Did you just stripe it?
Needless to say, I love the fans. They are the ones that have made me. I didn't do any of this stuff. They're the ones, and I just appreciate that they still want me to, you know, give their items the Von touch, as I say.
I mean, hell, you've been doing this for a long time, so
yeah. We celebrated last year. 2018 was my 30th SEMA show.
Wow,
God bless.
Yeah. And then making appearances there and autograph sessions for right about 15 years around in there.
Wow.
So I'm just thankful that they keep calling me back.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Because you could be coming back, and then the next day they forget who you are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Once they don't see that post for a day, they're wondering whatever happened to that guy.
Gee.
That's awesome.
How'd you get started in pinstriping?
Thanks.
Or is that where you started as pinstriping, or?
No, actually, no. Dad was a drag racer sprint car driver. And when I was born, Mom said, quit racing. Well, you can't do that to a guy that's, that runs petrol through his blood. Right. So he started building hot rods, street rods, custom cars, and bikes. And since I was the boy, I was the guy handing him wrenches and working on cars with him side by side. My problem was I hated spending Saturdays going to junkyards and guys' garages and speed shops hunting down parts. So, very young, I said, well, why don't we just open up a shop like Target where you can buy everything under one roof? And Dad said that would never happen because it's too much of a mix. It's too broad of a genre of stuff. So I kept that mentality. And then junior high, I was writing a proposal of how I wanted my own business just by myself. A teacher saw that, kind of guided me through that, how to write one up, and just kept that mentality. I graduated from high school. I was an average kid. I was making money off of the guys that had the Camaros and Mustangs in school. I was the guy installing the headers and putting the wide tires on it, with the US mags and the side pipes, because that was the trend. So I was making money off of them. And then when I graduated, I went to college. And the week I was there was really good.
The week.
Yeah, I got in the middle of class and stood up and said, "This is going to take way too long. I'm out of here." And I walked out of class, and the instructor yelled at me and said, "You'll never amount to anything." And I spun around and said, "Watch me." And, got a job where the pay was high, kept flipping cars, working on hot rods and street rods, and then opened up my own business. And I called it Hot Rods. And I had it for 20 years, sold it. And, now I've been doing appearances. But as for pinstriping, I was a car builder, shop fabricator, however you want to look at it, hot rod builder for years. And as I flipped cars, I'd have a striper stripe them and pay him cash on a Saturday. And then gave me attitude and, you don't do that. My money's good. And said, get out of my shop. Here's your money. I'll do it myself. I'll figure it out. So I grabbed a can of paint, wrong paint, grabbed the brush, wrong brush, and kind of splashed some paint around. A striper walked in and asked me what I was doing. I said, I need to learn how to pinstripe in a couple of days. He said, well, you'll never learn with that stuff. Try this brush, try this can, and by the time the can is empty, you should know how to stripe. So I just played with it at my counter in the front showroom, and as I say, the rest is history. I started striping my own cars, not telling anybody I was the striper on the cars. And when I sold my business, a promoter found me. I took a year off and traveled. The promoter found me and asked if I'd do appearance at his hot rod show. And I said, no, I'm kind of out of the industry. He upped the salary, and I said, well, what time do you want me to be there? And so I showed up, and I said, well, I don't want to just sit there with a picture of myself and sign autographs. And what if nobody's there? So I brought some paint and a piece of metal. I said, I'll just splash some paint around, take up some time. And MySpace ended up there. So MySpace had just started. So people were taking pictures of me pinstriping and posting, Von Hot Rod was here, the pinstriper. And so social media has tagged me as a pinstriper. So that's
awesome, man.
That's the story how I got started. I know it's a little long, but that's it.
You've been doing it.
And so self-taught, self-learned out of frustration. And I said, if I'm going to learn, I'm going to learn the right way, which is I don't draw a grid. I don't pre-sketch anything. I make it up in my head. I follow the theme of the car, and that's what somebody's paying for, is that 30-year experience that I've been doing it.
So the other thing is John Day wants to know, how do you pick your brushes and what are they made of? That's the question that just popped up on the screen.
Sure. My brushes are made out of squirrel hair. They are custom made by Mac Brush. They're it's hard to see. Let me try and find that. There it is. It's hard to see. Yeah, and you can see there's the Von Hot Rod name. Where I say focus.
That's right. They named the brush after you. That's right.
Yeah, they're made by Mac Brush. It's my design, my hair count, my hair layout. They call me Master of the Fine Line, so the brush is designed to do the type of work I do. And they're great. I mean, the pinstriping brushes haven't changed. They started, way in the early 40s, and the design of the brush really hasn't changed. The difference is they're thicker, thinner for wider or thinner lines. And, there's the old theory is you buy the brush, you cut it to adapt to what you need to, and you don't have to do that anymore. There's hundreds of brushes out there now that you can buy, whether you buy mine or buy somebody else's. Buy a good brush. You're going to spend about $20 on a brush, so make sure you buy a good one.
Well, I remember.
But yeah, you can go to macbrush.com and find all the brushes.
I remember when I was still in school, I was a kid. Tom Itchy Otis used to live out in Long Island. Yeah. And I lived around a corner from a guy named Fat George. He had a 34 two-door sedan. And Itchy knew Fat George. And I remember when Itchy went to California. He was towing his Roadster with his 55 Chevy truck. He gave me a pinstriping brush. And I'm talking, this was like 77 when he gave it to me. Yeah. And then when I was doing muscle car 10, 12 years ago, I was at the Sacramento Autorama and I saw Itchy again. And of course he didn't remember me because I was, I was all grown up, but we got to talking, and once I told him where I lived and all that, he was like, "Oh my God!" And he remembered. That was pretty crazy.
That's great.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
That's great. Yeah, he's a great guy. He's in New York now.
I don't know. I don't really.
Yeah.
I don't have his number.
I saw a post on Facebook. He was doing stand-up.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah. So that'd be fun. That'd be interesting. I'd love to go and just start, yelling at him. Hey!
Did he leave? Did he leave the pinstriping game and went back to New York? Or?
No, I think he still does it, but I know he's in New York, and that's just a post I saw on Facebook about a year ago.
I'll try and track him down.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Yeah.
But yeah, that's my pinstriping story.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then there's a show in Atlanta. It's a Motorama at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, and this guy Bruce puts it on. And don't ask me Bruce's last name because I can't remember it. But he's an old hot rodder, and they raise money for children's speedway charities. They raise money for that. They sell panels and bowling pins that have been striped, all that stuff. So I go do that.
Right.
I go do that and hang out there for the weekend. I've been doing that for a few years. Cool. I go there and I do the auction with Bruce, and that's huge comedy. You know, yelling at people. My stuff.
Yeah, that's fun. I'm sure that's fun. Yeah.
Bruce is the mild mannered when I'm like, hey, bid.
That's sweet. I love that.
I got a microphone so I can be heard. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love doing auctions. I own the Pinstripers Reunion that I do. Same concept of, you know, we do a live auction, raise money for charities. And same out of necessity, the auctioneer was talking and telling about his life. And I'm like, dude, you're here to auction items off. Quit talking. He kept talking. So I kind of like threw him off the stage and said, I'll just do it. I'll figure it out.
Exactly.
So I started, you know, just auctioning these things. And then the next thing I know, I get hired for all these other auctions. And so, yeah. So I've been raising money for just different auctions. And I literally make it up in my head. So I like doing them. They're a lot of fun. And I was on that cruise ship. We do live auctions. So I was the auctioneer there and bidding, you know, auctioning stuff off.
Well, that had to be a blast.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. It is. It is really funny. It's a lot of fun, actually. The problem with me is I lose track. I'm saying everything so fast. I'm doing say 100, then jumps to 150, and I repeat the 150 several times, and I jump to 200, and then it dawns on me: was I at the bid at 150 or was it at 200? Is it 200 going to 225?
As long as you don't go backwards, it's all good.
It is. I have to have an assistant that keeps telling me in my ear, you're at 200 or whatever the case is.
See, I don't go fast. I don't go fast because I'm carrying on while I'm doing it. So I give everybody names. It's funny because I don't know anybody.
Right.
And you know, like there'll be some guy with a Tommy Bahama shirt, and I'm like, hey, Tommy Bahama, what do you got? I'm just calling people.
Maybe that's what I need to do is slow it down and play
that's
with
what I
audience.
do. I just play with it, and then you know, Bruce. Whenever they bid, Bruce keeps track of it because Bruce is on the stage with me, and he's like, okay, we got 75, and then so we just get all these. You know, I just give everybody names, and it just works.
I like it. I'm gonna take that advice and
works.
try it.
I mean, it could be, it could be like a guy with a beard down to his belt buckle, like, hey, bearded man, what do you got there? Or I'll call him bearded lady, whatever comes out.
I love it. That's great.
So yeah, and then like if some guy, like I had one guy, I think he got pissed at me at first, but he realized I was just being a smart ass. But he came walking through, and I told him, I said, if you walk through again, you got to bid. And he just looked at me kind of baffled. I said, you've walked through here twice. You can't keep walking through here and not bid. So he bid.
Good. And that's what it's about. Yeah. Give me that extra $5, $10 for the charity. I love it.
You can't just keep walking through here and interrupt this shit. You got to bid.
Yeah.
Did he win?
No, he didn't win, but he didn't come back. I'll tell you what, though, he didn't come back through until after the
that's awesome.
We do at that Castle show. We do a dinner for 8 at Barry McGuire's house. We do that on the auction block, and we do a cruise around the bay with Mike and Ann Brewer and lunch with them. So those are the 2 highlights of our auction we do at the Castle. So you can have dinner with Barry McGuire at his house.
That is cool.
And 8 of your friends.
That's really cool. That's awesome.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I like that.
Yeah.
Must be nice to have a table that fit 8.
No, it's in the garage. It's in the garage.
Oh, yeah.
That's where all the cool stuff is anyway. So
I know. It is.
That's awesome.
He's a car guy, so it makes perfect sense.
It does.
Speaking of cars,
everybody's got that signature piece in their house, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's why I want to ask you, what's your signature piece in your house?
Mine?
Oh, yeah.
I think you have a picture of it, right?
I do. But I know the answer. I want everyone else to know the answer. The backstory on it was so good. You know, I'd love for you to share it.
All right. I used to run a front engine dragster in the 80s. It's just a replica of something that's built in the 60s. And my business got really busy, so I didn't have time to race it. So I parked it. And I'm thinking, man, I got to do something with this. Everybody wants to buy it from you, but they want to give you a couple $100, and you got more on one tire than that. So one time I was watching TV, and I looked at this wall in my house and thought, you know what? This can work. So I have my digger dragster hanging in the wall in my house. So you walk in my house, it's the first thing you see.
That's freaking awesome.
Lou, at least it would throw me out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's super cool. Everybody, that's the first thing they look at. They're like, you welcome into your home, and you open the door, and their eyes go right to it. And they walk straight over to it and touch it and bang on it. And they go, this thing's real. I said, yeah, it's real. Took me 2 days to get it up there. Of course it's real.
That's awesome.
It really is. Lewis, I sent you a picture of it if you want to show it on the screen before, I leave and Ray comes back on again. But there's another question I have for you, though. There's a very special 50 Ford, which I absolutely loved. Can you tell the story about that car, please?
Sure. When I opened up my shop, to make the investment to open up, I sold all my cars and everything I had and took all the money I stockpiled and opened up my shop. And I always wanted my dad had always talked about a 1950 Ford that he wanted to build, and just never got to it. He got married, things all changed, life got in the way. So when I had some money, I found one. It was a chicken coop in the city of Yucaipa, California. And I knew what the car was because it's the short one with the steel back, no back seat. So I drug the car out of the dirt. The motor was frozen. It didn't roll, of course. So it's a 1954 business coupe. It's got a flat motor in it out of a 50 Merc with a 3/4 cam, offie heads, 4-barrel magneto. Still on the 3-speed, but it's a typical high school custom. It's nose, it's decked, it's French. It's not chopped because back then kids in high school didn't have the extra money to chop the top. And it's the first car I built when I had some money. So I've got a lot of money in that car at that time. I built it over 30 years ago. And to this day, it looks exactly the same. About 15 years ago, I hid the car because it won all the awards, at different shows and stuff like that. So I hid the car. Dennis Gage filmed an episode here at the museum. And that's the first time the car's been seen in 15 years. And people ask me about it. I kind of like, yeah, I still got it, kind of blow by it. And I'm almost ready to bring it back out. I need to put a new headliner in it. The headliner's starting to sag a little bit because just in time. But I still drive it, still runs perfect, nothing wrong with it. It's a great car. But I sent a picture in so you guys, if you get a chance, you can post it. It's just like a dark maroon color. It's got a set of lake pipes on it, wide whites on Fiesta hubcaps with extra blades in it. It's nose and deck, shaved door handles, and white tech and roll, white banjo steering wheel, white dash. It's just your typical high school custom. It has a record player inside of it. So it's got tuck and roll in the wheel wells and tuck and roll into the hood.
It's back in style now, is what it is.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's totally back in style.
All right, I'm gonna pull up a picture, but I gotta bump Tori off.
Okay, I just have one more quick question for you. Then I'm gonna go.
Yes.
My other question is, tell the guys about your role in the movie Catch Me If You Can.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I worked on that film for 2.5 months. I did. They used 3 of my cars, 2 of my caddies, a 67 and a 61 Cadillac, and my 64 Buick convertible. That car's now in New Zealand. I did a lot of walk-on for Catch Me If You Can, work with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks, and it was a blast. It's a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I ended up on the cutting room floor. And what's crazy is when I went in there for wardrobe, they're like, okay, we're going to cut your hair. I'm like, no, you don't understand. You don't cut my hair. Well, we need to shave off your sideburns. I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. Never mind. I don't need this. And they're like, well, wait a minute. Do you know where you are? I said, no. Somebody wanted me in this movie, and here I am. They go, do you know where you're at? I said, no. They go, you're at Steven Spielberg's private studio. Nobody is supposed to know about this place. And I go, really? He goes, you'll be in a movie with Tom Hanks, Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Gardner. And I said, all right, let's cut my sideburns. So they parted my hair on the side, cut my sideburns. I look like a beetle. It was really funny. You can't recognize me at all. So, yeah, we did a lot of things. There was film in Pasadena and Burbank and Ontario, the old airport.
Now, the original, the real guy, Frank Abernack. I used to have a repo company, and we went and did a repo conference in Florida, and he was the speaker. And he was telling us, he's pretty cool dude. He was telling us all about the movie that was going to come out, and he's a really cool dude, man. Smart.
Yeah, he totally thought outside the box. I mean, it's unfortunate he was a criminal, but he thought outside the box, and it worked. It really worked.
And he did all that before he was 19.
Right. I know.
He passed the bar. Crazy. The lawyer, take the bar test. He passed that before he was 19.
And there was
without doing a stint to college.
I remember when I was growing up in New York when they busted him because they had it on the news, and he was talking about how how he paid two girls and they would dress up as airline stewardess and they would travel with him and all that, and he took these girls all over the place. It was crazy. The stuff he was saying was just phenomenal. It's just phenomenal. I mean, he just.
But what's funny is when he talks, he's like one tone, but he's so interesting that you're stuck to him. You're like, wow.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was on set. He was an advisor, saying, no, that's not like how it was done. It was done like this, and it was more over here. So yeah, it was pretty cool. I liked it.
It's funny though, because he did all these forgeries and he made a ton of money before he was 20 years old. And meanwhile, all the safety features on checks that we know today, he's the guy that they hired to design them because he's the one that broke every rule anyway.
Right.
So that must be
using his power for good now.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's crazy.
So let me run because I'm going to let Lewis bring Ray Guarino from Motor Mouth Radio on, but I'm going to end with this thought. You had a record label, and Ray just absolutely goes nuts over classic music. So I'm gonna segue into that. Okay.
All right.
And you could discuss the record label. I'll be tuning in as well. And thank you for coming by. It was a real pleasure for me to be a part of this. And we'll talk real soon. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Later, Tori. My youngest wants to say hello.
Not really hello, but
well, lean in so you can be seen.
Get the hell out of the way.
I am out of the way, jackass. that's
there you go. There's my dragster. That's my living room.
Dragster in this living room. Is that not insane?
Yep.
That is so cool.
Yeah. For fun, I got in it just to see what it was like because I haven't sat in it so long, and gravity kicked in. I couldn't get out. Because your legs go over the rear end.
Yeah.
You got to climb in there. I couldn't get out. I couldn't get my legs back out.
The radio show with
when, that 1 years ago.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name. I can't remember
because I remember he did that.
I think he's gone now.
And I remember the very first thing I said to him. I remember that guy was on TV. That's one who lost.
Yeah.
Okay, but.
You're not in the camera.
Look, you need to calm down. You
need to just get this done.
I have one thing I want to do.
We're talking about.
I'm trying to be Vaughn. I just want you to know you're missing a lot of stuff.
That's his car.
Look, let me have my moment.
There's my
have your moment, quick.
I just want you to know today has been a stressful day. I am about to go release some shit. I really hope.
We know whose son that is.
Yeah.
That's the high school Merc.
Yeah, that's my high school car.
That's awesome. There. That's cool.
Thank you.
I like that it's not chopped. Everybody chops those.
Yeah.
And
yeah, everybody trips out on it because of that. It's not
cut up. That's cool.
Yeah, just a simple 50s high school custom.
What I would like to do is get 3 of them, right? And do each one of the 3 different styles. Leave one unchopped. You know how some guys will chop it like it's a fastback, and then other guys will just lower the lid and do all 3. So when you park them together, you can see exactly how all 3 are, how they look.
See, that's a good. That's
you know what I mean? Because how often do you see the 3 different styles together?
Right.
Yeah,
never together. They're always apart. You can see one on one side of a car, so one on the other side, but they're never side by side.
And I think that would be really cool to do something like that. Because, you know, each one of them takes way different work to do. To, you know, to do the fastback.
Oh, yeah.
That's a whole different animal than just lowering the lid. You know, I think it would be cool to do something like that.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think that'd be awesome. So where's Ray? Is Ray coming?
I'm not seeing him in the room here. Wait a minute. I don't think he's here.
I ran away.
Yeah.
So
he's stuck in traffic.
Yeah, he's in traffic. Where's your museum located at? Your shop?
It's very private, and I won't say that.
Okay. I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm in SoCal.
Right. I knew that. I knew that. So is it open to the public, or is it just open to people you know?
It's mostly by appointment only.
Got you.
Yeah. I used to be very public, and we had a few things happen, so we just had to do it this way.
Yeah. No, I get it. That's
because you know I'm on social media a lot, and I'm gone a lot. So
I need to think of that. Yeah.
It's just unfortunate the society we live in now, so you got to be careful.
Yeah, because see, like I don't post anywhere where I'm going, just for that reason.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I
I
post after I come back.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to. That's just you know, people want to come out and drop by and say hi, so I got to let them know where I'm going and what city I'm in next.
Right. Yeah. Where are you going next?
I've got one close by, Costa Mesa, California, classic auto show. I got one Saturday and Sunday.
Right.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of plugs. They've got a full line of celebrity. They've got like Bogey, All Girls Garage is going to be there. Jesse Combs is there. Mike Brewer, Ant is there. Barry McGuire, Wayne Carini, Stacey David, Ken Block. I'm trying to go off the top of my head. But yeah, they've got a full lineup. It's going to be great. We have a lot of fun.
That's a lot of people.
It is. They've got. It's almost like it's Motor Trend TV now. So it's almost all the celebrities on Motor Trend are going to be there. It's really
almost all.
Almost all. Yeah.
Yeah, almost all. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Anyway,
it's one of those things. It's the way it is.
I try to tell Lou to take cake and candy into the place with him, but he won't listen.
Nah, I ain't worried about it. Don't bother me at all. I'll get over it. Yeah, we don't get invited to a lot of that stuff, me and Jared. We just don't get invited to it. But that's okay. You know? I got stuff I can do. You know? I part-time teach.
Right.
I do my own thing. I ain't worried about it. It's something to do.
Good. Yeah, there's plenty of room out there there's so much thing. I started teaching at high schools and universities now, doing like in their so-called shop classes that they don't have anymore, trying to bring that back. Because, you know, like I said, nowadays, if it's not an app, the kids don't want to mess with it. And what we do is all hands-on. Everything, it's a trade. It's a blue-collar trade. And so I'm trying to bring that back. The problem is when I go talk at a high school or college, I always ask them, well, how many kids have your license? And, you know, like 2 or 3 will raise their hand. And I'll ask how old they are, and they'll say, 18, 19, depending on the class. And I'll ask when you got your license. And most of them say about 6 months to a year. And nobody does it. They Uber everything, or they share rideshare. And I go, don't you guys want to get in and drift on a car or grind the gears, get a second wheel chirp? And they're just not interested. So I always encourage the older generation to take a kid to a car show and let them ride in your car. And if you have it, let them drive your car, because there's nothing like a second wheel.
Exactly.
There's nothing like that.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I'm the same way. It's just you got to. The bigger problem is you got to get them out of looking on their phone for everything. Once you do that, they start realizing that it's different. There's more to it than the phone. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Right. I mean, they're great watching the YouTube video, but I say, don't you want to do that? Don't you want to have that sensation of what it feels like? To just white knuckle it and be at the edge, and watching your tack red line. I go, you've got to experience that feeling, because they look at cars as transportation now. They don't look at it as collecting, and we still look at it as collecting, because you got to remember, if for us, it's a need, it's not a want. We don't need the car. We want the car.
They don't have that love affair.
No, and that's what I go around, and I always try and let them know that it's about that. It's about doing something with your hands and getting it dirty. And, you know, it's fine. You can hire somebody to do that, but jump in there a couple of times and just try it. And it's an experience you won't regret.
You're hooked.
You're right. Ray must have went to sleep.
I'm back.
They said he was in the chat room, but when I pull it up, he's not there.
He must have went to sleep. I don't know.
It's all right. I have more questions anyway.
Then ask your question, Corey. Ask your question.
Well,
what do you got?
Also, you won the SEMA award for the best new product as well.
I did.
Congratulations.
I did. I did. You remember the Grant Metal Flake steering wheels back in the day?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, there wasn't anything to match it when you put it in your car. You know, guys would flake the roof or do some pinstriping to kind of match the wheel. But the shift knob would always be white or black and have a shift pattern on it, or they put a skull or a pool ball. So I got this wild idea to make metal flake gear shift knobs to match that Grant steering wheel. So what I did is it's a metal flake shift knob. It's got pinstriping inside of it, and then it's resin clear over the top of it, so you can't wear the pinstriping down. And I, you know, debuted it at SEMA, and it got best new product for SEMA in 2018, and in it also actually got the SEMA Global Award too. That means that's everybody out of the United States country voted on their best new product. So it got 2 awards. You got the SEMA Award, and it got the SEMA Global Award.
That's awesome.
I was pretty stoked about that.
So where can we go?
Yeah, it's very cool because it's a shift knob, and it's right next to somebody that came out with a new fuel efficient program that could get your car better fuel mileage, and then a stainless steel suspension part, and here's this little shift knob right next to it. So that's pretty cool.
It's not about miles per gallon; it's about smiles per gallon. So
exactly.
That's
they
right.
picked the right one to win. So
you got to remember, chrome is a color.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is. So where can we get one at? Where can we get a shift knob at?
You can just message me on Facebook or Instagram and send one out. They run $45. They come with the adapters. They fit pretty much anything. I don't have one here. They're in the warehouse, so I would have brought one up. I'd have to disappear for a few minutes to go get one to show you.
Nah, you're good. I might have to message you.
Yeah.
You know, because I have a bunch of different shift knobs that I've made over the years and you know found and done. Yeah, I got a few of them. Yeah.
Yeah, we make them the metal flake gold, the yellow, the green, the red, the blue, the purple, the black to match that Grant steering wheel.
Cool.
So they look pretty cool. Especially nowadays, everybody puts their shifter up tall. So you'll be looking, there'll be this tall metal flake shift knob up high.
Cool.
So they look good.
Yeah, I make my own sticks. I just get the steel, bend it up, and make my own. Yeah. Nice. I got a bunch of weird stuff. Yeah. So I had a Budweiser beer tap. I just gave it to one of the other teachers. He had a Bud Light one in his truck, and I gave him a Budweiser one.
Very cool. Awesome. Very cool.
I like that.
I got a bunch of different ones. I got an Elvis, the skeleton Elvis. You know when you're driving on 40, there's that Klein's Corner in Arizona, that big store Klein's Corner. It's just they just sell dust collectors and trinkets. I stop in there when I go to SEMA every year just to see what they have. Because a lot of those little figurines are plaster, and I bore them out. The ones I like, I bore them out. I make a sleeve and epoxy it. So I've got different ones. I got a Frankenstein head. I had the one. It was Herman Munster for when he was doing the drag racing with the hat on and the goggles.
Oh yeah,
awesome. I got a bunch of stuff, man.
That's cool.
I had a pinky in the brain, but
That's cool.
I lost it. I got to find another one in a pinky in the brain.
That would be good. That's a fun one.
Yeah, I like the cartoons too. So
yeah. So,
but I have another question for you. Now I'm gonna go back to the beginning again. Your dad's nickname was the Rod Father. Okay.
Right.
So now you're a young kid. You're looking up to your dad, who is a celebrity, in his own right back in the day. With the cars that he built, how'd that affect your style of building hot rods?
Well, I'm stuck in tradition and not really stuck. I like doing period correct. When I had my hot rod shop, we did Chevy straight six, flatheads, and nailhead Buicks. We didn't do anything small block. So if you back up 10 years ago when I sold the shop, then back up 20 years that I had the shop, we were doing stuff, you know, period correct or nostalgia rods or custom cars way before this trend started, way before the nostalgia rod or rat rod came out. And back then, you know, back in the 80s and 90s, people were saying, well, when are you going to paint this thing? And I'm like, paint it. It's done. They go, no, you gotta paint this thing. I'm like, it's going to rust. I'm like, no, this is a done car. You realize how much work it took me to go backwards?
Yeah, oh yeah. Right.
And they just, they didn't quite get it yet. It was too early. And then now with social media and everything, it's very, very popular to do the patina look and stuff like that. Yeah. But we were doing it way, way back then. White walls, tuck and roll, all that stuff. And Dad, you know, Dad was more the performance guy. He had a 42 Merc that he had when he got married with my mom back in 1959. And it was a total sleeper because it was on big and littles, white wall tires with Fiesta hubcaps, black, stock outside, bone stock, except for he French the headlights and put 41 Studebaker taillights in the tail end. But it was all 59 Chrysler throughout the car. So he'd pull up and they'd race traffic light to traffic light. Well, you pull up in a 42 Merc, everybody assumes it's got a flathead in it. And he made so much money in that car racing traffic light to traffic light because he's all running ahead of you. Nobody realized that.
That's cool.
Yeah, and a few years ago, we duplicated that car because he always talked about it, how the one that got away, So I found a 42 Merc, and I replicated off of his stories and then gave it to him and Mom, and they drive that around all the time. Awesome. Just black, all 59 Chrysler, all tuck and roll inside.
That's cool.
Yeah, super cool. Yeah, Dad has a lot of fun in that car. Mom says he's 20 again.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
The old cars have a way of bringing you back in time to when things were better and things were.
Absolutely. Yeah. Everybody always asks me, what's my favorite car? And I go, well, it's hard to say because you get a different attitude in a different car. You drive something chopped, you tilt your head, the hand goes on the steering wheel so you can see out. You drive the 50, the arm goes out the side, elbow down. You just get a different attitude when you get into a different car.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's so true.
That's very true. That's awesome. Yeah. That's freaking awesome. You were just ahead of the power curve when you were going backwards building cars. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
You just ahead of the power curve,
definitely. Yeah, because Boyd Connington was one of my best customers. He used to buy a lot of stuff from me, and he always asked, "Why don't you carry any of my products on your shelf or on the walls?" And I said, "Well, you know my slogan, right?" And he goes, "No, I don't." I said it was, "Avoid the Boyd," and he would just crack up at stuff like that. Because that was during the billet craze, and everything was, monochromatic and aluminum and milled out, and I was, white walls, tech and roll, nailhead Buick, tri power, and I was all that stuff.
Yeah, you were the exact opposite of him.
Yeah, totally the opposite. Even though we were great friends and we'd buy stuff from each other back and forth. Yeah.
That's funny though. Avoid the Boyd.
I never heard that before.
He just gave me a look and shook his head.
That's awesome.
When you're good friends, you get away with stuff like that, So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Really
I'll tell you what, he's really missed, man. He really.
Yeah, for sure.
He is. Yeah, he was a great guy. I really liked him a lot. We had some deep conversations, and it was nice getting away from the cameras and just sitting down having lunch and picking these guys' brains.
Oh, yeah.
Ed Roth was a good friend of mine, and we just sat down and just talked for hours. The crazy thing is I never learned a stitch of pinstriping from Ed, but I learned how to market. I learned how to brand, all from Ed Roth. All my marketing schemes and everything, if you want to say, is from Ed. That's where I learned all that.
Yeah. And you know what? He was good at it.
Oh,
yeah. He was.
Big Daddy Roth he knew how to do that. That's for damn sure.
He did.
He probably could write a couple of chapters in any marketing book that any university's using.
Totally agree. He had some wild ideas, and they would work. That's a crazy thing. He would tell me, he goes, "Watch this," and he would give me the idea of what he's going to do, and it would work. It would really, really work. It was great to see it happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. Not textbook, not scripted, just off the cuff, and it was branding that Rat Fink and branding his Roth name, so it worked really well.
It's iconic.
Oh yeah.
It is.
And you actually going on.
You actually have. I saw that on the background going up the stairs, the top of the stairs. You had the Rat Fink up there at the top. It's iconic.
Yeah, I got a few original pieces from Ed. I got a lot of notes, and I've got a couple of business cards from him, and some personal stuff that he's given me that I have.
Yeah.
That must mean a lot.
People have that
It does.
that logo on things, and they don't even know what it's from. It's just a cool piece.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
the younger people. Yep.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah, just like I was in Vegas at SEMA, and a girl walks in the elevator, and she had a Von Dutch shirt on. And I said, "Oh, I knew Kenneth Howard." And she's all, "Oh, he's the designer?" And I said, "No, not the designer." I explained to her who he was. And yeah.
Oh my God,
That's
really?
kind of sad.
And you know, someone sold all that, I'm guessing, because that became so popular so fast. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
yeah,
I met so many people who never knew who he was. They just liked the flying eyeball, so they bought the shirt. You know what I mean? It was like, wait a minute, you know? Yeah.
Right.
So that was kind of weird the way that whole thing worked out. I don't know, but someone had to have the rights to that.
It's unfortunate.
So yeah.
Yeah. That's just the way it went. But he's considered the father of our industry.
Oh, no, he is.
You know,
yeah.
He was a blacksmith sign painter by trade. And in the early 50s, I mean, late 49, right at 50, a guy came into the shop and had a scratch on the hood of his car and asked if he can put some of that scroll work that they do around a name. Mm-hmm. You know, if they have a name of a sign, there's scroll fancy work around it. He has to put some of that fancy work on the hood of his car, just cover up a ding, and thus pinstriping was born. That's how it started.
Wow.
Once that got out in the public, then the next car, then Ed Roth came in, Dean Jeffries, Larry Watson, and it took off from there. But that's really how it got started. It was just by necessity, trying to hide a scratch.
That's so crazy. That's nuts.
It really is.
Freaking huge now, you know? I remember
and now
it's everywhere almost, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, snowboard, skateboard decks. You can go to any mall and there's a sign work with pinstriping on it. You know, like I said, I'm doing KitchenAid, and some of the ladies don't even have any concept of the hot rod industry of where it came from. They just like the way it looks.
Yeah. That's so
little.
Yeah, social media has made it very mainstream.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. Next time I take a trip and Lisa's looking for all the kitchen stuff, and I'm coming to see you, she'll be mad at me, but at the same time, it'll be very fashionable when it returns.
Exactly.
That's right.
When I get done with mine, I'll send you a picture of it. I'm gonna try to pinstripe it.
There you go. Good.
Awesome.
Good. You can do it. I have faith in you. You can do it.
You know, I remember when I was doing muscle car, I got a friend, you know, Brian Igor. He does pinstriping. He's out of Virginia Beach, and I had him come down, and we filmed him striping on the show. And he did the toolbox that I was working at. I had a big Matco toolbox. He did the toolbox. You know, nothing crazy, all simple stuff. Was done in red. It was real tasteful, but I mean, people still mention that to me today. They're like, "Man, who did that?" I remember that guy doing that. You know, who was he? Is he still around? That kind of stuff. And he's on Facebook, you know.
And what I like about it is it's great to see it on a car, but when you see it live, especially at a show and somebody's doing it, it gives you a whole different perspective of it. And I still get the people walking up and going, "Is that how it's done?" And my answer is always, "Well, if there's an easier way, let me know. But yeah, this is how it's done." I thought it was tape, or I thought it was a sticker. You know, I go, "No, it's all hand done." They're just kind of amazed. Not saying I'm the greatest or anything, but any striper, when they watch them live, people just get amazed of how it's done, watching the hand create and high coordination and stuff like that. I think it's super cool.
I love all your stuff is freehand, right?
Yeah, everything's freehand. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, have you seen the video of Keith Eccles? You know Keith, right?
No, I have not.
He has a video where he's doing a semi truck, and he starts at the top, and he just goes down, and but when he's done, it's like, oh my God, look at that.
Yeah. It's like I remember there was where was it? It was Itchy around the corner from me. The guy, his name was Bobby Joe Kester. He lived all the way on the far corner, around the corner from my house, and he had like a '68 Chevy van, and it was black. And Itchy did, I think it was 5 colors, and it was just flames. But every lick of flames, like he did one all the way down the side and say blue. Then he took red, did red. Then he took yellow, did yellow. And it was 5 different colors all intertwined of all flames. None of the flames were painted except for stripes. And it just looked so crazy. And I've never seen that again. But the thing that always amazed me is just how you know they're not the same on both sides. You know what I mean?
Right, of course.
But they're so close that when you look at one side and go at the other side, it's like, holy fuck, they match. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the thing. And the other thing that always got me was how, and you see it on a lot of like a 40 Ford with a trunk deck is a good size trunk deck. Like there's all this scroll work, and it just looks like a bunch of lines, but you step back and it's like a tiki head. You know what I mean? Once you stop and once you step back from it, you can see the whole tiki head in there, and it just looks like all scroll work. That's the stuff that amazes me.
Yeah, it amazes me what's in these guys' head, where they come up with this idea. And I travel overseas, as you know, and like in Japan, Australia, they're really into it, and they're all in. And what's nice about like Japan, for instance, they're very disciplined on what they do.
Right.
And when they focus on striping, I'm like, gosh, how did you guys get so good so fast? And it's we work, 10, 13 hours a day. Then we stripe every day for 3 hours because they're very disciplined.
Wow.
And how could you not be good striping like that every day? And they're putting that little Japanese twist on it. I love it. I love what they've done with it. Yeah. Taking it to a whole other level that you didn't think about.
Well, and I mean, and it becomes cultural at that point because they're putting their own
absolutely,
which is a totally different culture. So it makes perfect sense that where you go in the world, it's going to be a little bit different. Even if they try to do it like really traditional, it still has their flair on it. It's just like a signature, man. Everything you do is gonna have your flair. Everyone is different. That's the other thing that makes it so awesome. It's art, man. You can say what you want, but it's art, and it's serious art.
Yeah,
it's cool.
They're really pumping out lowriders over there right now. And I've been watching videos, man. They're coming through with flaked out.
Dude, Japan always they've been doing lowriders a long time, and they knock out some serious traditional stuff, man.
They really
it's 13 colors.
They're a lot of fun. Like I said, they're very disciplined, and they're all in. When they're doing it, they don't do it halfway. They do it all the way, top to bottom, front to back, and it's a beautiful piece of art. Their cars are like art.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to go to. What was your? That's one show I'd love to go to is the Moon Eye.
Oh, it's great. It's a really fun show. For a one-day show, it's a lot of people show up. A lot of volunteers put that show on. It's a lot of work for a one-day show, but it's a blast. It's a lot of fun to go see.
I've heard that from people.
Yeah, the videos on YouTube don't do it justice. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I need to try and get to that show. It's been going on for years.
Always the first Saturday in December.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that. I knew it was in December, but I just never.
Yeah, always the first Saturday in December in Yokohama.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go to that. I just got to make that happen.
Yeah,
that happen.
Get right on that.
It's just cool. God,
it is.
Fucking A. All right, well, guys, it's 10:03, and I have not had coffee yet.
Well, hold on 1 minute. I'm gonna show a video real quick. Hold on 1 minute.
All right, what do we got?
All right, hold on 1 second. All right, here we go.
On my phone.
All right, check this out.
Oh, there he is right there. I'm coming forward to see.
Oh, wait, what happened?
I don't know.
My internet's going slow. Hold on 1 second. It's coming.
That's all right. See, that's what I love right there. Free hand, one hand.
That's awesome.
He's just focusing on what he's doing.
Do you know him?
I know of.
Okay. Yeah, he was out at SEMA at the One Shot booth.
Nice. Yeah, when I'm in SEMA, I get to see what's in front of me. That's it. I don't get to see much of it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm so busy just doing my thing. I don't get the chance to walk around and do other stuff.
Yeah.
But see, that's what I like. Look how fluid it is, and all you guys do it like that. You're so fluid like that. Look at that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It is.
Love that. Look at that. It's like it's no effort. It's in his head and it's coming out of his hand. That's what I love.
Yeah.
But the thing is all of you guys, all of you stripe like that. You know what I mean? It's like you're running this line, and all of a sudden I'm going to press it a little bit harder because I want it to be fatter. And then the line becomes fat and it goes right back to thin. It's like, why did you make it fatter there? Oh, I don't know.
Because I messed up. Actually,
yeah, but you know what I mean? That's just so crazy.
Right.
And now,
yeah,
when you load the brush, what's the reason for loading the brush?
I can't explain because it's experience. It's a feeling. I feel it in my hands.
Right.
I know what it feels like when that brush strikes through the paint.
Right.
I can feel it. Now, as I stripe, it sounds for me. Each line has a sound, and it's hard to explain how it works, but I can actually feel the brush and hear the music, if you want to say that, for the left and right as I go. So it's just really strange how it works. Other than saying it's a God-given talent, I can't really explain how it works. Other than that, I teach classes on how to stripe, and I tell them you've got to find that sweet spot because I can't teach that.
Right.
You've got to learn that feeling of what you and the brush become one, and dial it in and find out what it feels like to drag that line. It may take you 1,000 lines, but when you find it, you'll know and you'll get it.
Right. Right. Yeah. That is so wild. Because I mean, every time I watch someone stripe, they're always fluid like that guy was. And it doesn't matter how long the line is. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like you said, they see it, and I get that because when I build a chassis, I know how it's going to look in my head. But I guess it's because I've never really talked to anybody who stripes. Like I know stripers, but I've never had a conversation like this with them. Right. You know, so I never asked. I just know.
And it's crazy because, like when I'll do door handles, one side. I'll draw one line, and I got 30 seconds to draw the same line to get on the other side. So I'll run to the other side because my memory will give a 30-second memory of what I did. So I'll go back there, do the exact line, come back, do another line back and forth. If somebody stops me and talks to me, it's done. I got to go right back to the first one and kind of flow it in my head and then run to the other side. Right. So, yeah, it's strange how little things throw you off that, you don't think about it until you're actually doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's so wild.
I got a friend here.
Yeah, some guys can do one door handle and then they'll take a picture of it and go to the other side and kind of copy it. And I'm like, no, I do one line, back and forth. That's how I do it, left and right.
Yeah, because I saw a guy using a Polaroid one time. He took a Polaroid. It was before cell phones, of course. But he shot it with a Polaroid. And then I've seen another guy, Itchy would go side to side on like stuff like door handles. Yeah. Because I've seen him do that. I remember him as a kid doing that when I was.
I just like it. I figure the customer is paying for this, the Von touches, I say, I want to do it where they can say, he freehanded. He didn't draw it. He didn't trace it.
Right.
He didn't pre-do it. He followed the theme of the car, and it matches. Usually when I do a car, I usually end up a pair of high heel shoes for the wife to match a car. That's usually what happens.
Right.
Because they'll ask me to bid the car, and I go, well, are you sure that's all you want? Because they out on the dash, the firewall, the glove box, the door jambs, inside the trunk, a shoes, a purse, and it keeps going. So
right.
I always make sure, if that's it, this is what you're going to pay for. And then by the time you're done, you've already tripled that price because they keep throwing in more stuff.
Going through the whole house.
Yeah, it's pretty funny because you got to give yourself a lot of time. The guy makes an appointment and you go, okay, it's a 2-hour job. You're there the whole 8 hours all day long. You went through the house, the office, all the way through, which I like. I think it's great. It's very flattering, but it's just, you have to prep for that. So you couldn't line up. You go 2 and 3 cars.
Bring extra paint.
Yeah.
I got a buddy here. His name's Guy Shively. Have you ever heard of him?
Guy Shively. The name sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's here in Ohio. He's a good friend of mine, and he married a lady. He's divorced now from her, but she was a good artist too. And I seen him go down the side of a car, and she was on the other side doing the same, and you couldn't tell it was a different person. Yep, they both were hitting it. It was pretty tough. Yeah,
that's crazy.
I put together Because like at some shows, there's no way I can do all the cars that are there because you get pretty busy.
Right.
You have to limit how many cars you can do a day. So I put together this thing called Von Hot Rod's Pinstriping Circus. And what it is I've got 6 stripers that are all about the same caliber. And we work together and we'll line up 2 cars. And let's just say this one wants red and white. This one wants, let's see, black and blue. So I get one guy with red and I say, okay, you start the front. I get another guy here. This one wants blue. You start blue. When this guy's done with blue, another guy jumps in and he's got white. So we can knock a car out in 15 minutes by doing red. One guy does red to red. He switches colors. Another guy's doing white to white. By the time this car's coming out, another one's pulling in and they're ready to do the other one. Same thing with this car out, this car in. Nice. And we can knock cars out super fast. It's so much fun. And we get to pick on each other and we just have a lot of fun doing stuff like that.
Not only that, you get to see the different styles that each guy does.
Well, yeah, and what's nice about it is we work together, and the idea is to make the car look like one striper did it. Whether 2 guys or 3 guys touched it, it's making the car look like one guy did it. That's the trick of having all these guys do it, because nobody is better than anybody else.
Right.
The idea is to focus on the car, make a happy customer, and he goes away like one guy did it.
That is so crazy.
So it took a little to get used to because everybody has their own style. Yeah. So you got to find that happy medium, the happy sweet spot to make it work. Hey, look, that's my studio. That's where I'm standing right now.
Damn it, man.
Yeah, that's where I paint right there. That big wooden box. That's my paint box that I travel around the world with. It's they gave it to me as a gift. There's 61 stripers that striped on it. Every striper did one color and signed it.
Oh, dude, that is cool.
Thank you.
That's cool. So I take it you use one shot, right?
Yeah. Yes. One shot's the best. It's enamel based. It's look at that. That's one of the glass cases in the museum. The fire truck you see in there, if you could see it, is mine when I was a kid. The bottom shelf has all my Hot Wheel toys when I was a kid, all original stuff.
Damn.
Wow.
There's a Kodak camera in there. That's my first camera that I got when I was a kid. And if you look at the top, you can see an Ed Roth trash can. That's an original trash can from Ed from 1995.
Nice.
Man. There's some stuff in there.
No, there's my staircase. That goes up to my studio.
So stuff.
So what can me and Luke get a tour if we come out that way?
I'm sorry, you're breaking up. What was that? I think we have a bad connection.
Man.
There's my shoebox. There you go. There's the car.
You got a Volkswagen Bug in there too?
I do. I just bought that actually about 2 months ago. I had my very first car I bought when I was 14 was a VW, and I sold it when I graduated. And I always wanted another one, so I just bought that. So I'm gonna give it the Von touch on that. I'm gonna change the color to that ivory, do the interior in red. Yep. So I'm gonna start that this summer.
That is so cool.
Thanks. Glass case again. These are original art pieces from different artists. You can see there's my 41 Ford up there at the top. There's my 54 Merc to the right of that. My 47 Lincoln Zephyr, the turquoise one, and the shoebox where I'm leaning against it.
Yeah.
And then the bottom picture, it looks like it's broke. I'm dropping a flathead into my 50, and the I-beam broke, and the flathead falls on the front of the car.
No.
Yeah. So you can see all these renderings from different artists. There's my 61 Caddy is in there from Steve Stanford. There's my 41 Merc again down there. The purple one, that's the one that's a Hot Wheel you can buy at Target.
Oh, yeah?
That is crazy.
Yeah, that's this one. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of hard to see.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 41 Ford. I signed a deal with Mattel in 97 to make my 41 a Hot Wheel. Oh, these are lamps I do. I build these for different customers.
That's sweet.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks.
And you know what? You can find
the little
parts everywhere. You know what I mean? One valve cover.
Yeah. I don't do anything rusted or old looking. Everything is all new parts. It's whatever the customer wants. This one obviously wanted Ford products, so that's a Ford valve cover. And the air cleaner is actually off a Honda. I needed a nightlight, so I stuck that there.
That's cool.
So, thanks. So, there's one I built for SEMA. That's a Fairlane hubcap, 53 Chevy horn ring, then a 39 Chevy fog light, then Model A tail light, and then all the copper you see, all the wiring runs through the copper. And the tail light and fog light light up as night lights.
You gotta have that.
Those are fun to build. I like building those. Right now, I'm building a pedal car. I turned into a gasser that's turned into a coffee table. I got to have it done by next week.
How did that? Wait a minute. Back up. How did it go from? Yeah. How did it go from a gasser to a coffee table?
Well, he wanted a coffee table, and he wanted me to build it. And I asked him what he was into, and he happened to be into gassers. So I said, okay, I've got an idea if you're okay with it. And he said, sure. So I'm taking, that's a clock I built. That's out of a scooter tire.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That clock is super cool. I really like that. Was a fun one. Yeah. I really like that one.
Yeah. That is neat, man.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you.
It's all timing chain gears and a couple of valve springs.
And a couple of valve springs. Yes. They're very good.
Holy shit, that's neat.
Yeah, whenever I go picking, I find stuff. I'm like, oh, I gotta need this, and oh, I need this, and out comes this in my head. So
that's cool.
But yeah, the pedal car I'm turning into gasser. It's got go-kart tires in the back for slicks. It sits on a rake. It's got all the sponsors on it, and it's got a drag butterfly steering wheel in it with, of course, my shift knob sticking up really high.
Oh yeah.
Then it's on a beveled wood with a moon tank out front, a parachute on the back, and then there's a beveled glass that sits on top of it. So the pedal car sits on wood, a wood base. It's bolted to the wood. Then there's 4 poles that hold the glass up. So the pedal car's under the glass.
That's cool.
So it's a coffee table. It's a bit heavy though.
Well, yeah. What kind of,
but it's super cool. It's got ejectors coming out of the hood. It's got headers sticking down the bottom. It's super cool.
What body did you use?
55 Chevy.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a typical, gasser. And it's a pedal car. But it's got gauges in it. It's got a moon tack in it. It's got all the right bells and whistles in it. I think there's more money in the pedal car than the whole table. Because of all the parts. It's got machine turned gauges in it. It's got everything. It's really cool. Yeah, I know. Everybody goes, you know what you got into? And I go, yep. But that's what the paying customer wants. And so
right.
I let them know that they're very expensive items, but that's what they want.
You got $10 worth of wood and a $15 piece of glass and a $2,000.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. But it'll be one of a kind, and there'll be another one.
Yeah, and he'll see it and he'll love it. You know what I mean? He'll love it. Yeah.
Well, it's a conversation piece because then now his friends will come over and they're going to focus and talk about that.
Right.
It's metal flake blue with white scallops and pinstriped and powder blue, and it's got striping all around. It's got the A gas number on the side, all the sponsors down the middle. It's got his name as a driver.
That's cool.
Plus, like I said, the butterfly steering wheel, the shift knob. It's got tacks in it. It's got a blue windshield, a moon tank out front.
That's all.
Injectors out the hood and a parachute out the back. It's all to scale, so it's a little parachute.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome. It's freaking awesome. Yeah. All right, guys. I got to get my coffee. I'm dying over here.
All right.
Yeah. So, we really appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, no problem. Thank you. I had a blast. You guys get to know me a little bit better now. It's more to me than just pinstriping. There's a lot behind me, and there's full staff and behind me. It's not just me, what you see on Facebook.
Yeah.
So
right.
A lot goes into what I do.
Even Michael said thank you. It was one of the guys in the chat room. Even he said thank you. That's so cool.
All right, that's awesome.
I'm telling you, Von,
Awesome.
that's just neat. I like this shit. It's just so cool. If I'm ever out in California, I'll give you a holler. If you're in town, we'll get you.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, you have got all my contacts. Yeah, anytime you're out this way. Then we'll talk more on that castle show. I definitely will bug you. And take
man. I mean, then, just give me.
Yeah. And anybody listening, just follow me on. Yeah, follow me on Instagram. Anybody that's listening, just everything's at Von Hot Rod. I'm easy to get a hold of. Send me a message.
Yeah.
You need any merchandise? All there.
Keep me in the loop because I drive. I try not to fly because I get blood clots when I fly. So I'd have to drive out, which isn't a big deal. I mean, it's just hop on 40.
Well, just let me know. We can tie in. If you have other shows you're doing, we can tie it all in. So
yeah. Well, I'm trying to. I mean, I don't do many shows on the West Coast. I just don't. It's just it doesn't work out that way. If I can get some out, I'll definitely go. You know, I've done the Grand National Roads show, and I've done Sacramento.
Right.
That's really it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. We were there. We were there together, Grand National and Sacramento.
Yeah. I mean, and that,
we were there at the same time.
And that was years ago when you stop and think about it, man. That was
it was.
So I
hadn't been to Sacramento in a few years. I went this last year. They booked me for it. They booked myself and Amanda and Joe from Iron Restoration. It was us three were the celebrities. So we had a lot of fun together. I've worked with them before.
Yeah. They're good people. We've had them on the show.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm working on I do his booking, so I'm working on getting some stuff out west. I got a couple contacts that I'm working on. So it's a hustle, man. You just gotta
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's a job, that's for sure.
Yeah, just let me know. Let me know any way I can help.
Man.
And thanks to the fans out there. I appreciate you guys watching us and listening and following me around. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And more people will see it because it'll live on Facebook now.
Yeah, live on Facebook and YouTube, and it'll also be on our website.
Yeah.
So people and we're on iTunes now too. So it'll be on iTunes in about a week.
Yeah, so
Excellent.
People get to see it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So
okay.
All right. So
all right, guys.
You want to sign off, Lewis?
Yes. I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight. My name is Lewis Lee from All Ins Magazine and co-host of Planet Traffic. We do this every week on Wednesdays until Lou gets out of school. Then we're going back to Thursdays. So I'd like to thank our guests for coming on, man. You really open our eyes in different angles. You know, it's really cool to see a different flow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right, Vaughn. Later, man.
All right. We'll see you guys.
All right. Ciao.